Hello and welcome back to another podcast episode of Stoke Fan TV with me, Max, your host, and no Sam today because he's messaged me to say he's lost his voice, but he has gone metal detecting, so maybe he'll find it when he's when he's out and about. Right, we're coming to you. This show's being aired to you on a Wednesday. That's right. We're coming to you. We're trying to get back to a kind of set day in the week, and we're thinking maybe Wednesdays are the best day. So it was a couple of days ago now, Sunday, where our last result, another win. Joining us for today's pod, okay, is a man who needs no introduction. It's Samcam. Fanfare, please, fanfare. He's obviously very used to being on camera, very used to being on screen. If you haven't checked out Samcam's YouTube channel, especially if you're a Stoke fan, A, where have you been? And B, if you haven't heard of it already, get onto YouTube and check it out. And watch you there, give us both channels a like and subscribe. Why
Hey,
not?
I will say as well, Max, this video is going out on Wednesday. So is a new video for my channel as well. So anyone who's watching this, watch all of this video. Make sure you enjoy it. Drop a like, subscribe. And if you've got time afterwards, like I say, please do go over to my channel, watch the latest video because it's not Stoke related. I will say that. Not Stoke related.
Okay, what do you mean? Whoa. It's not Stoke related, Sam. Can you give
No,
us some hints? What is it, man?
it's not. I can indeed. So I actually got invited a few weeks ago to go and film a video behind the scenes at Hednesford Town, which is a non-league team. I think it's around step 5 of the English pyramid. It's a really good day. Went pitch side and all that kind of things, and it's come out as a pretty decent video. Hopefully, you people who are watching after this one will think the same. But yeah, no. So like I said, please go ahead and watch it, and hopefully you enjoy it.
Amazing. There you go. A behind the scenes look at Hensford Town of some sort. I haven't watched it, so I'm going to have to go watch it now after this show. Right. Anyway, so we digress. Let's get back onto Stoke City. Not much to talk about, obviously. Only Stoke winning, back to winning ways. 2 of the last games. Victor getting injured for a period of time. Potential Amas coming in at left back, and maybe other signings, and also not to mention poor old Boz, who, when he scored a goal, now he's out injured for a bit. So yeah, hardly anything really, eh, Sam? What we're going to talk about? We'll start, I think, with Stoke's recent turnaround in form. We're unbeaten in 2026. What a start to the year, considering obviously we'd had a bit of a blip. Sam, did you go to both previous games, Hull and Norwich?
No, well, I didn't go to Norwich. I went to all the games around the Christmas period. I went to Hull away, which was a great day, I will say as well. But no, I went to the majority of them, just not Norwich. And I wish I did go because what a good game it was.
Well, that's right. We've two from two, and it feels nice, doesn't it, Stoke fans, to get back on the winning, get back to winning ways. I think both games as well, hard fought, really. I know the Hull one especially away. When they came and played us at the Bet, I thought we were really unlucky, to be quite honest, and I think they snatched it right at the end. For us to go there and beat them in the backyard, I mean, I know they hit the bar or the post or whatever, but I felt like that was richly deserved. What do you think, Sam? Would you say to that whole game? Obviously, you were there. What was the atmosphere like?
Yeah, no, atmosphere is great. Always is on those away games with Stoke. It certainly is. But no, I think the performance was a gritty away championship performance, and I think sometimes that's all you need, especially when we were going into that game with a real poor run of form. I think it was 2 wins in 10 championship games, and we went into those 2 games over New Year, Hull away, Norwich away. We needed the points if we wanted to be anywhere near the playoffs this season. We needed to win at least one of those games. I wanted minimum 4 out of 6 points, really. And we managed to get 6, which was even better. But look, the championship, I said this in my videos as well, it's all about momentum. It is everything about momentum. You look at the league at the moment, teams that are up there, Watford, I think they're 4th at the moment. It's because of a really good run under a fairly new manager, Javi Gracia. You see so many teams in the championship. The minute they get on that good run, they're absolutely flying. And the minute you got on a bad run, you're dropping like a stone. And we saw that a bit with Stoke. We were high, pushing for even the top 2, maybe 10, 11, 12 games ago. And then obviously went through a bit of a dip in a run, as you spoke about, and then we started to slip down. So the fact that we've now maybe pushed that aside, every team in the championship goes through a blip. I say that every season. Hopefully, we've done ours now and we can kick on to the second half of the season. And it's not going to be a case of we're going to win every game. That would be ludicrous in a league like the Championship. But if we can avoid going 2 wins in 10 again, then that would be ideal.
Well, that's right. Is the promotion push back on? Do you know what I mean? We are eighth in the league. I know that we've played an extra game compared to some of the others because we've had all the Baltic weather that's come in. But we're eighth in the league. We're on 40 points at the minute. We're 12 points off the top of the league. We're 12 points off the top of the league, and we're only 1 point off the playoffs. So I know that Sam just mentioned there Watford, they're actually down in sixth, just looking at the table. But above them, well, above us, we've got Hull on 41, Watford on 41, Millwall on 43, Millwall on -4 goal difference. I
I
find
know,
that
crazy.
absolutely nuts. They're the only ones in. How are they? How are -4 goal difference and they're just sat there? Classic Millwall, if you had to
That
be
is
honest, man.
Millwall.
They're playing a mid they're playing a mid-table championship this season, but they're doing it in the top four. I don't know how they're getting away with it, like honestly. And then you've got Preston on 43 points, Ipswich, who've come into a bit of form, Middlesbrough on 46, Coventry on 56, who are hitting a little bit of a blip themselves, aren't they? Anyway, fantastic that Stoke are kind of. I feel like
Back
we've
on
kind of
track.
yeah, it does feel that way a little bit, doesn't it, Sam? And you're right. We've had to grind out that result, and you make such a good point. It's all about momentum. Just let's to go back to that Hull game because I want to look at it a little bit more. And some of the players want to mention. Wasn't it great for Boz to get his goal? I mean, I did say I thought I was going to be 80 by the time that Boz scored for Stoke. I'm 79, but I had it quite make it to 80. What was it like? Obviously, Boss scoring that goal. I bet the away fans were going nuts, weren't they?
They certainly were, me included. It was a relief goal, really, and it was
Yeah.
probably the easiest goal he's ever going to score in his career. But strikers strive off goals, and I think Bosnick. It is so unfortunate. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. I think the fact he finally got off the mark. He took way too long to do so, but he finally did. No matter how he did it, he did it. He got over the line, and then around 30, 40 minutes later, he then picks an injury up that looks like it's going to see him on the sidelines for a very, very long time, and that just seems to be Stoke's luck this season. The problem has been injuries, and I'm sure we'll go on to how important the January transfer window is going to be for the next few
Mm.
weeks. But yeah, I think that, like I say, for Bosnick to get on the score sheet was absolutely crucial for him and the team as well. If your midfielders, if your wingers and your strikers aren't scoring goals, there may start to be a lack of confidence within them. And so I think that the fact that Bosnick and Sam Gallagher have both scored over the past two games, it's been a real important moment for both of them, really.
I was gutted for Boz because he's tried so hard, hasn't he? And he just keeps going and going and going. And then to score, be in the right place at the right time. That's all you can do, can't you, as a striker? And just hope. Sometimes you just got to hope the ball comes to you in the right place at the right time, which it did. And fair play. Shout out to Cisse for the assist as well. But have you heard how long he might be out for, Sam? Have you heard any more about the injury and what it is? I'm a bit behind with it.
So I know, having listened to Mark Robbins, it's something to do with his shoulder. Now I don't know how long, I don't know what specifically it is, and I don't know how long he's going to be out for. So I'm not going to say that when I don't fully know. I'd imagine a shoulder injury, you're probably looking at 8 to 10 weeks usually for something like that. So, and he was in real distress when he went down.
Mm.
All the players were signaling the physio's over. So I think, and he was crying actually when he came off the pitch. I don't know if you saw that, but whether
Yes, I
that was
did.
because of frustration or pain, you don't know. But I think it's going to be a long time on the sidelines for him, which, like I say, it's really, really frustrating.
It's a real shame. It's a real shame for Boz. And if you're watching, Boz, wherever you are, get well soon. Come back
Yeah,
because you've got your shooting boots on now, mate. So straight back in. You'll be banging them in, mate.
hopefully.
It leads us on. Talking of shoulder injuries, obviously, it must be catching because obviously poor old Victor as well. He's injured his shoulder, hasn't he? Which we found out. Didn't he do it in the game prior to the Hull
He did, but he didn't come off, did he? He played the rest of the game. Everyone thought
game?
it was fine. And then on New Year's Day, the team lineup came out for Hull away and he wasn't in it. And everyone was like, what's going on there? And then later on, Robbins came out and said he's injured for quite a while. So, yeah, I don't know.
It's a big talking point to show this because obviously we hear about it through rumours and whispers, and then it gets announced, and then before you know, Tommy Simkim's back, isn't
Yeah.
he? And you're like, right, he's back, and he's straight in the team.
Mm.
Were you surprised by that, Sam? I was a little bit surprised.
I was more than a little bit surprised. I was in the car with my dad and I could not quite believe my eyes. I thought the media team had done something wrong, to be quite
They
honest,
aren't
got
young.
something wrong there. Made no sense to me whatsoever. But I will absolutely give credit where it's due to Tommy Sinkin. I think he had not the greatest of times with Leighton Orient in the first half of this season. I think he was quite inconsistent, having spoken to a few Orient fans. So I think coming, then stepping up as a young goalkeeper, filling in the boots of Victor Hansen, which is the best goalkeeper in the Championship, he
Yeah.
has done a superb job. 2 games, 2 clean sheets. You cannot ask for any more from a goalkeeper. Now, and I hate to be devil's advocate here, in either the Hull or either the Norwich games, he hasn't really been tested all too much. There's been maybe 1 or 2 moments where he's looked like he could concede and he's managed to keep the ball out the back of the net. But I think when we're playing games, especially, well, when you see games against teams that are higher up than you, better than you, and create more chances, we'll have to see how we can deal with those kind of games. But at the minute, he's doing a perfect job, and you can't complain.
Well, he's got a bit of a reputation already, hasn't he? I know he's ruffled a few feathers in certain clubs he's been at. He's a master sometimes of the dark arts and delaying the game and winding up the fan. He's good. He's good for that. And but do you know what? So's Vic. You watch Vic sometimes in the games, and he'll sometimes go down clutching his leg, and then he springs up like a gazelle, and nothing's wrong with him. So it is part of the sport. It's part of how it works, isn't it? But I thought that in that whole game, I thought his distribution in particular. I touched on this. I put it, I think, on a post on Facebook. I thought his distribution was excellent. I think he had a couple of nervy. I mean, he's going to be nervous, isn't he? He had a couple of nervy moments. Maybe he could have caught the ball. When there was a cross where he could have caught it, I think he tried to punch it or did punch it. And then there was the corner which nearly caught him out. But again, he didn't concede. And that's 2 games, 2 clean sheets. And we have to, I think, do a massive shout out, to our defence.
Oh
Because,
yeah.
oh my God, we've suddenly gone from quite a few fullbacks to none.
Oh gosh, I know. At
Weirdly.
all.
What's that about? I mean, I know that obviously Shamadou has gone over to AFCON and he's scored, didn't he, for Cameroon, his
Yeah,
first
yeah.
international goal for them. Excellent. Well done, Shamadou. But, that did leave us kind of in a predicament where we didn't really have a recognised right back. And then all of a sudden, Cresswell's injured at left back.
I
And
know.
what's happened to Bocat? This is weird. Is he injured? Is he not injured?
He's supposedly injured now. I don't want to read too much into
Mm.
rumours, but I'm hearing that he's on his way in January for a fee of 2.5 million. So we'll have to wait and see if that's true or not. But I'd imagine it is.
So this is it. Is he going to go? Is he not? I don't know. I'm presuming obviously he'll want to play more first team. He's been limited in the games
He
that he's
has.
played for Stoke this season. Cresswell's been doing a good job. Don't know really again how long he's out for. They're being quite coy, aren't they, Stoke, on the length of time some of these injuries are going to be
Yeah,
out for. We've not really heard about how long Vic is going to be out for. I don't think. Have you heard anything about how long Vic's out for, Sam?
I think that's similar to Boz, isn't it? I think it's 8, 10 weeks again.
It's so we're kind of just in limbo. We don't really know, but the defense, the lads who come in that defense have filled in superbly, I think. And
They
shout
have, yeah.
out to Maxi, who bided his time. Super duper patient. Even when he came in, he had a stellar game early on at right back, and then in the same phrase, he's come in at right back, and he's done a great job for me. Obviously, attacking wise, he's not Shamadou, is he? But he's a rock at the back. And
Yeah.
then we've had Gibson, who I've been
What a surprise.
critical of in the past, coming at left back and, sprightly.
Yeah, yeah.
Done a good job there. So, and then Llewell as well has kind of come in and Llewell play anywhere, really, won't he?
We can.
So
Mr. Versatile.
we're very fortunate that we've got this really solid back line, and I think that it's our foundation this season. Would you agree with that, Sam? Do you think that's what I mean? Going forward, we'll look at that in a minute, but that defence, do you think it's pivotal to our season?
100%, 100%. I mean, we've got the best championship record in terms of clean sheets at the moment with
Yeah, with the best
12, I
defensive
think it
record.
is, or is it 10? 10 to 12, it's something around that anyway in terms of clean sheets, which is a great number. A
Mm.
really, really good number of clean sheets. Anyway, but yeah, so I mean, you look at players like Ben Gibson, who, like you say, well, I was includedly quite critical on him. He's meant to be quite on a high wage, and he
Yeah.
wasn't featuring very much for Stoke. Now, I'm sure he's a great leader in the dressing room and things like that. But on the pitch, I wasn't too sure about him. And he's had to fill in at left back in a position that is certainly not natural to a 33, 34-year-old centre half that's probably never played left back in his career. And he has come in and done an absolute stellar job. Now, yes, it's not Aaron Cresswell at left back, but what can you do when the two left backs you've got are out and not playing? You can only work with what you're given, and Robbins has made the right call there by putting in the experienced Ben Gibson, and we've not conceded a single goal for the last two games with him at left back. So you can have no complaints. And it's the same with Talaverov. I mean, I'd argue he's probably a little bit better than Gibson with the age difference and things like that. But even like you said, he isn't the best going forward. But again, he's a centre half. It's not his job to be, extremely attacking, going down the flanks like Cresswell and Chamadou do. I didn't expect to see that. All I wanted from Gibson and Talaverov, even Lawal, when he plays in those fullback positions, is just to be sharp defensively. Let's not get overloaded by the wingman. If we can avoid goals, then the attacking can be left to the rest of the team for the next few weeks, and it has been, and it's gone completely fine.
And we're not far away from the transfer window opening. And the name that's been floated around is Amas, isn't it? Coming over to us, this Manchester United left back who's been on loan Wednesday, but
Yeah.
obviously he's thinking of coming over to us. I mean, that's quite an interesting development. Do you know any more on that, Sam? Or are you in a similar position to me? I've just heard things.
No, I'd expect. I know there's numerous championship clubs that are after Harry Amas in this January
Oh,
transfer window, and I know that he will be an absolutely huge loss to Sheffield Wednesday. Now, I do think we need a left back, especially if Eric Bocat is going to go. We've seen with Ben Gibson, even though he's done a brilliant job, we don't have any other out and out fullbacks other than Aaron Cresswell. And Aaron Cresswell's 35 years old. There's going to be times across a 46 game championship season where he's not going to be fully fit. And I think a player like Harry Amas would be a really good option. It won't cost us very much. He's a young lad from Man United on loan for the second half of the season. And then, with all due respect, Sheffield Wednesday in a horrible position this season, but it's a
yeah.
pretty poor team. It's a really, really poor team. And he has been one of the shining lights at such a young age. So I would love to have him at Stoke in the second half of the season. He's bright. He's a young lad. He's hungry. Whenever I've watched him play, he plays with bite. I think he's a player that Stoke fans would absolutely love. And he's got a great career ahead of him. And I'd love a part of that career to be at Stoke in the second half of the season.
Yeah, and it's not a million miles from Manchester either, is it really, Stoke?
No, that's true.
Um,
That's true.
I mean, we say this, we do feel for the Wednesday fans as well. What a crap situation to be in. And I won't even go into it. We need a whole show on PSR and football finances and financial fair play. And now look what's happening to
I
him.
know.
What a joke. So we could go into that. I'm full ball rant mode, but I ain't going to do it now because we don't have several hours. So we're looking at maybe say a mass coming in. I haven't really heard any more names as such. Areas that we need to improve on, in my opinion, are creatively at the other end of the
Yeah.
pitch. Fantastic, wasn't it? The Norwich game. We'll touch on that briefly. What brilliant to see Galley on the end of another cross again, kind of right place, right time. Good run though, and I say Sorba working his magic.
Oh,
Player of the season at the minute, surely got to be number one at the minute. What a
yeah.
revelation on that left hand side he's been for Stoke City this season. With a mass coming in, if he's attacking mind as well, and if he does
Oh,
come in, that is going to, I think, open up even more space for Sorba to do damage
100%.
and put balls into the box. Great for Galley to get a goal though, eh, Sam? And do you know what? I will say he's looked less like he's made of Weetabix recently in the last few games. What do you reckon, Sam?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's good to see him actually within the squad and not playing 5 minutes and coming off with an injury. It's good for us to see, and I'm sure he'll be absolutely delighted as well. But no, I think it was important for him to get on the score sheet at Norwich. He was obviously came on from Obama, who was pretty disappointing again.
What's
And
happened to him?
oh, I don't even know.
Do you know there's a rumor he's going off to Palace or something? There's a rumor he's going to
That was a
Palace.
while. That was a while. That was after he'd scored the hat trick with Bristol, and
Do you reckon
and
do you reckon he heard it and then, or it got round to him and then, because it's weird since that hat trick,
mm,
he's just nosedived. It's weird. Do you
yeah,
think
no,
something's gone on in his head?
I think something will have gone on in his head and gone on in his head. But for Divine Mabama, I think we saw real potential for the first 4 months
Yeah.
of the season of a top draw striker. And now, not right now, but I'm talking in a few years, you could see little bits, little stardust of he's going to be pretty decent. He's at Man City for a reason. He scored 5 goals within the first 4 months of the season, which isn't a brilliant tally, but Stoke fans loved him for his work ethic, for what he
Yeah,
provided for the
true.
team, and he looked really, really, really good. Now, I think the biggest problem from Obama at the minute is his confidence, and I will say that is not helped by the Stoke fans whatsoever. I was at the game a few weeks ago when Divine Obama came off after a pretty disappointing performance. I will be honest, and the Stoke fans jeered him when came off. When he came off, his number was announced on the big screens, and I don't like that. I don't
No, I
like that
don't
at
like that
all.
either.
And I think to myself, if you're a young centre forward, he's clearly hungry to make a mark on a championship this season. Just because you've had a poor run of games, you're getting jeered by your own fans, his confidence must be rock bottom. And I think we've seen that in the performances. Because to be honest, if you were a young centre forward, you were
Yeah.
getting jeered by your own fans coming off. Would you want to try
Well,
100%? Probably not.
you wouldn't want to, would you? And
No.
he's only young lad. What is he, 2021? And we talk about
Yeah.
Samcam obviously coming on, how nervous he is. I know it's a bit different at times for an outfield player, but also when you get the ball in those pressurised areas, it ain't easy. I think I see the frustration from the Stoke fans though, and I see that
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that effort needs to be there like it was, and I don't know what's happened. I really don't. It's a bit bizarre because it just feels like a different player. It does feel like a different player. I'm not a mad fan of the boo, and I don't like that kind of thing. It's not. I just don't think it's necessary. But I get
No.
that there's frustration there amongst the Stoke fans. Who do we need to bring in, Sam? What positions are key now? I've been saying for ages, just down that kind of centre line up top, and to be fair, even maybe some more creative on the wings as well. I just feel like we need that little bit more depth there, especially now we've lost our strikers pretty much.
Mm, 100%, 100%, mate. I mean, look, the January transfer window, you never bring in a shed load of players like you do in the summer transfer window. You're usually, on average, in the championship, looking at maybe 2 to 4, maybe not really 5, 2 to 4 incomings at the most for. And I think if I could see Harry Amas, I could see him in a Stoke shirt. I think that will certainly be one of the transfers that goes on in the transfer window, and I think we need it as well, a young left back to maybe learn off an experienced left back like Aaron Cresswell as well. I can really see the reasons why that move will go over the line in this window. But I then think we need a winger and we need a centre forward. They're the two things. If Bosnet's going to be out for a while, then we need to replace him. And I do want to mention as well, I've seen rumours suggesting that Sam Gallagher is possibly on his way out in this transfer window. So
That one
um,
blows my mind a bit, a
same with
little
me,
bit.
mate. 100%. Same with me. I think there is a real player in there that's not been able to show it that much due to injury. Now, no, Sam Gallagher is never going to be the best striker in the championship, but he can certainly offer quite a bit. Whether that's in a midweek game where your first choice striker is a bit tired, whether we're struggling with injuries or confidence with other strikers at the minute, Gallagher can step in and do a perfect job. So the only reason that I'm pretty confident we're going to sign a striker this window, or we've at least got one lined up, is because we wouldn't be open to offers, especially when we've actually only got 2 strikers contracted to the club for the second half of the season. We've got to have someone lined up if we're going to let Gallagher go. We cannot get in a position where
You
we
can't.
get rid of Gallagher and then we're left with Obama, whose confidence is on the floor, and we've got Bosnick, who is injured for 10
His
weeks, you
shoulders
know?
on the floor. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, like we are in. It would be bizarre. I know I've heard rumors. I don't know. I've heard rumors that he's on quite a decent wage, is old Galley, and but for me, he's a threat in games.
mm-hmm.
Especially off the bench. Like it sounds like
Yeah.
for me, he's a bit. Yeah, sure, he's got his injury problems, but for me. you're 70 minutes into a game, maybe your first choice striker's not, he's not quite having the best game, and you need to bring somebody on. Somebody like Galley, I think, can come on and make a difference. I can't remember it was against last season. I think he come on and then bagged two goals, and we ended up drawing 2-2. I can't remember the game. It was Stoke fans. Let me know which one it was. But
Coventry away. That's
was
it.
it? Yeah, I
Yeah.
remember something, and he was like, and he came on and he scored a couple of goals, and I was like, amazing. It was quick fire goals as well. He
Yeah.
come on, didn't he? Last game again against Norwich, and he just made the difference. He was somebody. It was a different kind of prospect to what they were getting with Mabama, and he found himself in the right space, the right time, and you got to be there. You got to be gambling. So I don't know who, but I think a striker is somebody we should be looking at.
Definitely.
Even if we keep Mabama and Galley, a striker somehow, work
100%.
work your magic. The Stoke scouting team, find us a striker who can bang a few in. Though Nathan Lowe's come back, but that's on different. He's injured himself.
Yeah, he's
What's
injured
going
as
on?
well.
We've got so many injuries.
We're injury FC, Stoke, aren't we?
Yeah, we are a touch at the minute. Moving back a little bit from now, I've said it from the start. I do think that we could do with another number 10 in that position. Bay, the last two games, has really excelled. For me,
Oh
I
yeah.
think he's had a couple of really good games, which is brilliant. But I still would like to see from the number 10 more goals, more assists.
Mm-mm.
That's just what I want to see. And I was saying in the last episode, remember when Nick Powell was playing in that role and he was our top scorer at 12 goals in the season. And you look at some of the other teams in and amongst that, you look at like Ipswich, Nunes up there, and even Coventry early on in the season. It's weird actually. Like obviously they had Asante in that number 10 role, and then he's kind of injuries on and off, and all of a sudden it's dropped down. I just feel like that position is somewhere that I'm looking for that extra level, and I do believe that Bay has it in him. I actually do. I just think it's not quite. Maybe it's just a matter of time, not quite clicked into place yet. I was a bit surprised about the whole Donnelly thing. Obviously, he's gone to
Weird.
but now.
Weird.
What do you make to that number 10 situation? I want to get your thoughts on it.
I 100% agree with you, mate, on the fact that I think Stoke need more attacking options than what we've got at the minute. Whether that comes in the shape of a number 10 or whether that comes in the shape of a winger would be more preferable for me, because now I know what everyone's thinking when I've just said that. We've got Sorba Thomas, who's the best winger in the Championship right now, and we've got Manhoof, who, to be honest, yes, can be a bit inconsistent, but I'm a real big fan of him. I think he's a great winger at Championship level. But if one of those get injured, what do we do then? That is
Well,
my biggest
Cisse's done all
issue.
right, hasn't he?
I don't know. I don't. For me, if we want to go for the playoffs, I don't know if Cisse is a player that I'd be looking towards. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I do know what you mean about Beige. I think like the last few games, he's looked really, really good. I definitely agree with that. And I think there's a great player in there. The technical quality is there. He just doesn't seem to. I don't know what it is. There's just
It's
something missing, isn't there?
It's frustrating at times, isn't it? Do you know what the
Yeah.
thing is with Bay as well? It's kind of the most Marmite player at Stoke. I've never known anybody kind of divide opinion quite as much
Yeah.
as Bay.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've commented on things. People have really come back at me and said, "Oh no, he's doing amazing. He assists the assists." I can't
Yeah.
be dealing with that. To be fair, I can't be dealing with assists for assists. Where do we draw the line? It's where do we go all the way back to the centre half who started the move? I don't know, but like I get that he is important for the build up. I get that the number 10 isn't what it used to be. The Kaka of Kaka's number 10 role ain't number 10 from now, is it? But I feel like he's at about 70% Bay, and I feel like add some goals, add some assists, and you are the number 10 that we need at Stoke City. But without that number 10 for me, I just don't see us getting promoted. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not sure about
I
that.
don't
I'm
know,
not sure
man. I don't
about
know. That's just what I feel like we need that extra level in there. Let me know in the comments what you think to that one. Have you got any players in mind, Samcam, for those attacking areas?
that. Oh, I've got too many. It's one of my weirdest. It's one of my weirdest things in life that I love picking out a player and thinking, yeah, they would fit into that system perfectly. And that's why I feel like Harry Amas will do really well because I've watched a lot of him anyway. Um, Players off the top of my head, I wouldn't mind seeing somebody like Cozy Dewberry, currently on loan at Bolton, but there's no reason why he couldn't come on loan to Stoke for the second half of the season.
Hmm.
He'd be somebody I'd be interested in. The biggest one, honestly, this is a name I want anybody watching right now to remember, right? Because you won't know him. He was included in my video when I did a video about a week ago now, maybe 2 weeks ago, when I put a short list of players I'd love Stoke to sign. Because obviously everyone has been saying Joel Pirou, blah, 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 blah. I don't think he'd come to Stoke, in all honesty, for the second half of the season. And I don't think this player would either. But somebody called Promise David. Now, he's a Canadian international. He plays in the Belgian league, I think, at the moment. And he scored around 60 goals over the past 2 seasons, including goals in the Champions League. He's a menace up front. And the only way I could see him going to Stoke is if it was like the Enzo Lafay move to Sunderland, where he went on loan, on a loan to buy, and then if they got promoted, they could bring you in then for a big chunk of money. Because I would say he's worth about 20 million, Promise David, in this day's market. So why couldn't we? Why can't we be ambitious, bring him in on loan, sign him for 20 million in the summer, and then we go for it? I don't know. It's one of my roguish shouts. Roguish shout of the week, but Promise David would absolutely tear up the championship, and I promise you that.
Where's Canadian Al when you need him on the show? Because here you on the show now,
Yeah.
telling us all about it. He's saying, "Oh yeah, I know that guy. I go fishing with him every Wednesday." Who do you think, Stoke fans? We've just said we've floated some ideas there. We're coming towards the end of the show. It'd be good to know who you think Stoke should sign in the January window. Obviously coming up to it, and is the promotion push back on?
Yes, it is.
Are we back in full flow, or are we kind of just working our way back and we're playing some teams that maybe we should be beating? I don't know. There's
You know what? You know what I'd argue? You know what I'd argue, Max?
Go on,
I'd
mate.
argue the promotion battle was never off. I would argue that it was a little blip in form that every team goes to at some point in the season. We've had ours now. We're going to kick on. Whether we're going to make the playoffs, I don't know. But the playoff race, it's on, mate. It is on.
It is on. Right, Stoke fans, thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, hit the like button and subscribe button. Also, don't forget to go check out Samcam's channel and the behind the scenes look at Hensford Town, where he met Promise, what's his face, and he convinced him that he was going to come. And there's plenty of fishing pools here that Al could come over and do some fishing with you over here in the UK.
Yeah.
Big carp over here. Maybe not as big as Canada. But yeah, come over and play for Stoke, Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave a comment below as well. And it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
And we will see you all on another podcast episode of Stoke Fan TV. Go on, Stoke.
Go on, Stoke.